Great morning, everyone. So I started out, I pulled our starting cards, and it's going to be perhaps an interesting reading because what I got underneath of it, starting this, is Taurus, slow but steady, and above it is the mystery, okay? Mystery. Now I think the mystery is interesting. It's like endings, new beginnings, etc., that type of thing. The mystery of being slow but steady. And then what we have with that is the second house, know what really matters. Going on to the third house, which is communication. So know what really matters when it comes to communication. And then what's crossing them is the intrusive, the unwanted guest, invading privacy, interruption, disregarding boundaries, unwanted communication. So again, it's saying know what really matters when it comes to communication. And the mystery is going slow but steady. So we know what direction we are supposed to be going of the light, what communication we should be putting out there, versus the communication from the uber right, which is fear mode, drama, continuing distraction, continuing to try to hinder one's rights. We see them continuing to try to invade the airwaves, etc., with what they're putting out, whether it's movies, whether it's taking over and trying to quash any type of, news things, okay? So again, all of this, they're getting more and more intrusive of trying to push down freedoms, take away freedoms, especially the freedom of speech, the freedom to protest, etc., etc., etc. All of these things are connected in that realm. So let's see what we have. I've already done the ruffle shuffle here. Somebody said, This reading is not right because you didn't do ruffle shuffle, you only did shuffle. So I made sure I did ruffle shuffle this morning. So let's see what the reading's about. The reading is about Six of Cups. This is that whole conglomerate. This is my card, the Epstein Files card. Now, this is not just the trafficking of children, etc. This is that whole dynamic behind there, okay, that's going on. It's got a postcard on this, which is interesting, okay? So again, it's that whole dark cabal, and that's what the reading's about. The Epstein Files, and I think when it's talking about Epstein, it's just that now of that we're shedding light on this whole dark cabal that's been going on for a long, long time. All the different arms and aspects of it. The energy coming into it is inspiration of wands. So yeah, the inspiration about actions, messages about actions, transformation, shedding light. So I like that card. It's got the light, and then it's got the butterflies. Butterflies are always about transformation, okay? So putting that light out there and transforming this, and again, continuing to out these dark forces and the dark drama. Above it, we have Spirit of Swords. So Spirit of Swords is about this staying in this mindset of truth, okay, the good mindset, spirituality, staying in the light, that mentality. The swords are the mental realm. So again, the mental realm of transformation, actions, mental, okay, what you're thinking, what you're perusing, what you're holding in your consciousness of light for transformation. The foundation is 7 of Swords. So being aware, and we have this one, stalking, okay, in the dark, this stalking. So being aware of the dangers of the radicalization that's taking place of the dark side, and how they keep trying to intimidate those of the light. Okay, so being aware of that, what's going on with that, the intimidation tactics that they try to do to put you into fear, put you into doubt, put you into despair, and the more that they can lower your vibration, the more they can feed off of it. Okay, so that's important to know. So what's going on today? What's going on now? It's about the Lovers. So in this case, you see, this is kind of like the, what are you, like the caduceus or the healing or what, and all of that, the Lovers. So what side of the Lovers are you on? Are you a lover of the light, or are you a lover of the dark? So let's see the challenge. This is always interesting. The challenge is awakening. Yeah. Our challenge is to awaken, to keep shedding that light so others can awaken, to not do it in a negative manner. Now, there are some people that I have watched. There's those 2 ladies on there. What is it? I'm tired of it or something. And I used to watch them, but I don't watch them anymore because they just get, you know, it's always negative, 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 negative. Okay? So when I see them continuing, you know, to rail against the dark, but they're in this negativity about those, you know, the corporate Dems and this and that, and the negative, negative, negative. Well, that's continuing to lower the vibration. Rather than elevating those of positivity, they keep railing against something else, okay? So I don't watch them anymore because they've just got skewed into this negative pattern, which is not elevating anything. Rather than speaking and elevating ones like Mamdani that's actually doing things and promoting those of benefit, they just continue to rail. So it's about that, awakening. We want to awaken. We need to align ourselves with those of the heart, align ourselves with those of transformation, keeping a good mindset, being aware of the dark, but not allowing it to diminish you, okay? So above it, we have the 3 of Pentacles. So yeah, it's about coming together, what we are aligning to build to an awakening, to bring others into the fold of the light, and continue to give those things which can be transformational in a beneficial way. The foundation is the Magician. Are we going to things that are transforming of the light, or are we going to that foundation, being aware of the dark and the manipulations that they are doing, okay? So that's why I wanted to talk about, you know, that one channel with the 2 women. Yes, they are, you know, speaking, but again, it's from a lower vibration of continuing to rail, continuing to, you know, and that's not elevating people into a higher dynamic. It's rather, again, why it seems like a little higher, because we're talking against that dark, but it's also in a diminished way, okay? So potential outcome, this is always one we want to look at. What's the potential outcome? Tower moments, okay? Now, the positive of the Tower moment is that dismantling of ego, the dismantling of that dark, the dismantling of that, the things that have fueled one in a non-productive way. Or the Tower moment can be, again, the fall of that dark element, the fall of that. So continuing to bring in the light, and they are going to implode. The darkness cannot take the light, and we see it amping up more and more and more and more. The more light that comes in, the more that's shed on this, the more the dark is going to just be reactive and do what they can to bring in fear, to bring in this diminishment so they can feed off of you, okay? Outside influence is Spirit of Wands, okay? So that continuing to have that mentality and that being ready to act, putting things into motion, that spirit of I'm ready, I'm going to do this, I am doing this, I am doing the walk, I am bringing the light, I am continuing to move others forward into a productive way and mannerism. Okay, so what's above it is the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so the Five of Pentacles shows that those that are lacking outside of spirituality, okay, so there is the downfall, the implosion for those that are in this negative identification. Maybe they've gotten money, maybe they've gotten recognition, but it, you know, again, they've got holes in the socks here, standing out in the cold. They don't have the long-term things of a spirit, okay? So checking to make sure you're inside of spirituality. You can go inside of spirituality rather than being on the outside of it, with a foundation of Ace of Wands. So beginning action, new action, new action. So things are in the midst of transformation, more becoming aware of the elements of the dark and how it works and how it continues to try to lower the vibration of people. And the lower they can get your vibration into negative things, drugs, whether it's porn, drugs, whether it is, you know, all of these things to enslave you, then they feed off of that energy, okay? They feed off of that energy. So it's about bringing in more and more light, more and more things of benefit. You know, this is how the dark realm has worked when it comes to Epstein, etc. Blackmail. Get them to engage in something. This is why the killing of children, to get rid of the innocence, okay? It hates the innocence. It keeps trying to bring in corruption. It keeps trying to push down from awakening into this dark mental rep. We see so many that are in MAGA are what? Uneducated. This is why they continue to try to diminish education. Okay? So rather than elevating humanity, they continue to do the things to suppress it, to suppress and put into fear, put into lack, put into all of these things which are going to diminish one from moving forward, okay? So let's see what's driving this. We have the Three of Wands. So in motion, where this is moving to, the Six of Swords, wanting to get to the better place on the journey. Then we have the nightmare scenario, the things that are weighing on the mind that one cannot get rid of in times, okay? So again, bringing in fear, bringing in lack, bringing into that suppressing to keep one in fear. Then we have the Two of Cups, so what we are sharing, what's up in the air, what's being juggled, the Two of Pentacles, concrete things, the Ten of Pentacles, So this is that organization. We are looking at organization rather than the negative organization of the wealthy. Okay, 10 of Pentacles. In this card, it's showing the positivity of organization, of coming together as a people to bring in what? Justice. To bring in justice. We have then with that the Spirit of Cups. So that spirit, having that spirit of compassion, the spirit of empathy, those are the things, again, we should align ourselves with. Compassion, empathy, the higher things, aiding one another rather than this continuing grousing about one another. Then we have the Five of Cups, looking at the losses that have come, okay? The losses which bring what? Bring tears, bring the... Now, through that loss, when I see the positive of this card, the rain can also bring growth. We need to have rain for the growth of things to take place. So through some losses, we can also have some growth that needs to take place. Because next after the rain comes the sun, okay, which again is healing, which again is bringing more light, more awareness into it. So one can go into full awareness. Then we have Action of Swords. So that's taking that mentality and moving with it, moving the mentality into more into what? The higher self, okay? So working with that mentality into elevation. Now that is what's coming. Again, in another couple months, it's going to start amping up more and more energetically coming in. So people become more psychic, they become more aware, they become more open to getting these downloads and things to go forward. So next we have the embodiment of wands. So embodying the action, not just thinking about it, not being ready for it, but actually moving in this direction. So on that note, I will leave that here. Because it's given a lot for people to sit with. So it's about bringing in more light, eliminating some of the things maybe that draw one in, such as some of these programs like, Mycellus and things. He just gets over the top and gets, when they just keep amping and railing and it goes into that dark thing rather than showing anything elevating, it may be time to limit some of that, because it just, if you find out that you're listening to these things, you feel worse than you do better, okay? It's not making anything being more productive. Although it seems to be, we're fighting against this or we're fighting against that, and we're, but when it's taking you from a point of bringing in more joy, more empathy, more compassion into anger, okay, into rage and into anger, it becomes less productive, okay? So it's about, I keep having some niggling little thing here. It's about becoming more productive and opening up to compassion and empathy, but in a beneficial way, as to the way that Yeshua ben Joseph brought it in, okay? He goes in and he gives these salient things of moving forward, but he didn't do it in a way that was destructive, okay? So I wanted to put that out there. That's when I'm getting through this. It's about doing it in an elevated manner. That it is so important now to look at your communication, what you're bringing. And again, the mystery, slow but steady, continuing to move on this, okay, and know what really matters. What really matters is bringing into the light now what you want to see come into manifestation. That's how quantum works. You know, they had that saying, fake it till you make it type of thing. Well, this is not about faking it. This is actually bringing in that movement, doing what you can to elevate humanity, to elevate your neighbors, to elevate a situation, to bring it into more light in a beneficial way rather than grousing and negative and anger and that type of drama, because that lowers your vibration. You say, well, maybe it's motivating. Okay, well, yeah, you get out there and protesting, and that's all good, that's all fine, but do it in an elevated way, okay? Do it in an elevated way, and continuing to out the things that are holding us back, but find a way to do it in a more elevated manner, okay? So just something to sit with, whether it works for you or not. But I wanted to put that out there this morning. You know, again, and I keep going, we are here to aid humanity to move forward, to openness, to all of these things, you know, which were taught so many years ago through Yeshua ben Joseph, etc., through the sages, through those lights that had come to earth to raise up humanity and elevate their consciousness. And so that is what this is all about. It's about elevating the consciousness of the planet, and there is the division that's taking place at this point in time. Those are the negative. They're going to go even stronger into that negative, and hopefully there's enough of a hit with some of them to wake them out of that negative to go to a positive path. Okay, so again, you got to be out there. There are some that are vanguards that will continue to be out there to bring in the most light that is possible at this present time on this planetary awareness to go forward. And we are going to continue to aid those of the light workers that are willing to put themselves out there and to continue to put out light, to continue to not fear, to continue to elevate humanity, to hold it, to be a ground of being in this realm, to allow people to access higher consciousness, higher awareness, higher understanding. But it is up to each as to what they will allow to come into their consciousness, to move them, to elevate them, to change their direction into going forward in their own existence, because you have freedom of will. Therefore, we can only give out that what we can give out, and it is up to you to either accept or reject. It is your right to do either which way you wish to go, because you are given free will. You have had free will, but this is something as a motivating factor for people, and those willing to come in and hold the line for those willing to move forward, to give them a steady point to come to elevate them and continue to give them what they can be given. But it is up to you to use it and to move and to change your own dynamic in your own direction within your own lives, within your own awareness, within your own journey. But we are here to give what we can give, to give these downloads to those that we present them to you during this journey and this elevating of this planetary awareness, which is taking place at this critical juncture in the history of humanity. We are wanting to usher you in to the whole planetary realm within the rest of this system. We have so many other dynamics, other realities, other dimensions that are going on at the same time, the same things, different timelines within the same reality complex that you may enter just depending upon your consciousness and where you are willing to walk that dimension and that line and that reality, and bring in that awareness into your own consciousness. And this is, again, what brings it that dimension into reality. This is the quantum field that is allowing to progress forward. And the quantum field comes in to reality based upon your conscious awareness, the energetic signals that you are putting out there to the universe. And this is how this works. So on that note, we will leave you now. Much love and light to all, to continue to progress in your own paths and into this planetary awareness, this dimension of light, life, love, and humanity. Okay. Okay. So on that note, I'll leave this here and I'm going to have my coffee.